I think that everything about becoming a better version of myself comes down to this one thing: choosing what to do next. Liking it or being good at it comes afterwards, and the choice is the only thing that's actually mine. And I feel like I've talked numerous times, and just in YouTube, it's such a trite of saying this thing like action over thinking. Everything's about action. The world rewards actions instead of thinking. I know that I talked about this thousands of times, but I have like a slightly different view about it, and I wanted to share about this. Like I also am someone who watched a lot of motivational videos, Alex Hormozy, like from Alex Hormozy to like even Andrew Tate. I got it like hot, like really hot. How do I say, deep inspiration from his videos before. Not that I purchased his courses, but I felt like this man, although he's very controversial and talks about things that are very debatable, that I totally do not agree on, though he had some points that I really liked. And like today, I feel like everything is kind of backwards when it comes to motivational videos. They say that you have to just, sometimes just like act first, or like stick to it, or like find motivation or something that you like it first, and then you go for it. And I think that's just not how it works, how this like mechanism works. It's not about you wait for the moment to feel like a writer. You feel like a writer, and then you start writing, and then the identity comes afterwards. So like, because it's so weird, like whenever I do things, some like things that I genuinely enjoy, that I engage with, um I tend to believe, I tend to just feel like in midst of doing, I tend to feel like I am like a somewhat a professional bodybuilder, or like professional writer, or professional, I don't know, YouTuber. Like I feel like I'm a million subscriber YouTuber. Although I'm not. Like I just feel like I'm that person while recording and like uploading, posting my videos. Although I don't even like record. I mean, I don't even like edit any of my videos. Whenever I'm doing something that I enjoy, I feel like I put my this, not false image, but more like I would call it like a very clean and a clear picture of yourself that you can, a clear picture of yourself, a version of yourself that you can be in the future if you keep on compounding the things that you are working on right now. So but like it's the opposite when it comes to you have to apply this method to the things that you cannot just do, like things that you are unfamiliar of, or usually things that you've been avoiding for a very long time. Like it's so hard for you to just apply it, because it doesn't work that way. That's why it's something that you've been avoiding. Like if it were that simple, you could have just done it. And here's the thing that I really want to kind of want you to sit with, because once you understand this idea, I feel like it's even harder for you to not work on it today. Because in my opinion, I feel like anything, like everything has its own levels. So like depending on how much time you spend, how much time you spend, and if effort you spent on it, like over time in your life. So for example, I can choose to record my video right now. I could choose to go to the library and start studying. But I figured, since I ate my lunch earlier today, since I had my calculus exam, my finals, and I have today's like what, like 12:40, so I have like enough of time for me to record and then go to the library and start studying. And I can choose to stay at home, but the reason why I never do that is because I know for a fact that if I'm surrounded by people, I become a lot more productive. This is another, actually, this I had to talk about this like after explaining the main concept of it, about this idea. So ABC, like it's from A to Z, you can start, let's say, doing your house chores. That could be A, or like B, you could start reading, you could start doing like A, B, and C, but everything has its own levels. So let's say you have level three in chores, because you don't really, I don't know, like everything, like this is like the first time you've been living outside your home, and your whole life, your entire life, you didn't even do the laundry. Your parents, your mom already always done it. It's actually I'm talking about myself. I had to learn everything by myself and from my brother. So it's like I don't have that much of like high level. And by doing today, like every single week, kind of like a routine, making myself a routine and doing it over time, it's gonna level up. But like I feel like you cannot over level up. You can overdo it. Same goes for studying, especially. You cannot start like choose to understand more than what your intellectual like capacity is, like over your intellectual capacity. I'm not saying you're dumb, but like you cannot start understanding something that's so advanced from your current level, and that current level is compound of your past choice that you made over that thing. So if I choose to, let's say, all of a sudden learn how to play violin, since I have nearly zero, I played when I was very little. Like I don't even remember, when I was like 8, yeah, 8, 9 probably. And like since I have like maybe level 0 to 1, but if I keep on working on it and I have like level up one by one by one, like it's good. It's not about like if I start learning from today, and like if I, let's say, compare myself from a year after, from like with myself today, it's not about like it's a year worth of ceiling different. Every single time you do it, you raise the ceiling of tomorrow. The output stays the same. You cannot rush it. You never can rush learning or anything in your life, in my opinion. Like once you feel like you can rush things, that's when you start sacrificing others that you don't even know, and that's even more terrifying because you don't even know, like if you act genuinely understood that thing, it might backfire in the future. Like you were supposed to learn this topic from through a very long time, like through this like this whole semester, but you kind of rushed it, so you forgot the most of it, and you have to apply the same concept to like to the next semester, but like since you forgot the most of it, you can't apply them correctly. You cannot utilize it while everyone's doing. So I feel like all you can do, of course, I'll say like output can be underdone by, I don't know, like distraction. So you cannot maybe you reach like zero point 0.2, zero point 0.5 instead of full one level up. But like that's about you actually choosing to do, or you just half-assing it. So I'm not saying it's worse than not choosing to do, but it's still like you can do a lot more than you can. Like I mean, think about it. Like if you stack that up, like the missing points every single day, like that's like what you could have made a lot more than. So like this person who starts like a week later than you can already be like a lot levels above you in a couple of months. So like the whole point is, you can all you can do is choice. All you can do is choose to do and not choose to do the things that you shouldn't, you're not supposed to be doing. And like same goes for bad habits, like fixing your bad habits. I'm sure every single one of you have gone through this feeling of the moment you stop, like the moment you choose to not do it out of fear or whatever, like you feel like, oh my god, let's say you've been doom scrolling for literal hours and it's already, well, like 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and you realize how fucked up that very situation is, and you choose to not to doom scroll anymore that moment, and like out of fear, let's say, because you have school, like that's even more fucked. But like let's just say that the moment you put your phone down, and like in a couple of minutes, not even a couple of, maybe like in tens of seconds, you realize how easy it was to choose. Like all you have to do is just like choose that in that right time, and see how it goes, because you are the one who's gonna see the result of it. You're gonna one who's gonna genuinely feel. Again, I feel like feeling is a lot stronger. It's infinitely stronger than your reasoning and logically understanding things. You just, it all bypasses through and just makes you understand the concept without needing to read all the analytics and knowledge surrounded. So like once you feel it, once you feel like, oh, I remember like the choices that I made today. I remember I chose to wake up earlier than, even though I was feeling really bad. I felt like I wanted to stay in my bed, like lying in my bed hours longer, but since I could, but I just didn't. I chose to wake up earlier. I chose to start doing the things that I was supposed to be doing, and in order to, like, I chose to, like, A, B, and Z, and like all these things today, and realize how cool, how do I say, like, I no longer feel anxious about my life anymore. Like, I have not a single thought about myself. Of course, I have some self thoughts about the things that I'm working on, like the processes. Am I actually getting the full mark? Am I actually leveling up? But like, you can practice, you can use the time that you have, instead of doom scrolling or instead of watching YouTube videos. You can simply just by like making quick quizzes, in case what you're worrying about is your quiz. I mean, your study. In case of working at workouts, you can Google things up. You can do your own research about it to like confirm if what you're doing is like legit and correct. Like, you can do a bunch of things to kind of confirm yourself, but like the best way to confirm and validate yourself is literally by choosing what to do, like choosing the right things that you're supposed to be doing in that time. And like the another idea, like following idea that I wanted to talk about earlier, is that, since, like, I'm not saying the output is always fixed, but what's more important than just choosing is that people who understand how to choose, like, it's okay, it's all about choosing. That's like the only thing that's ours. Then how can I choose a lot easier? How can I, like, trigger this? Because like, once you're triggered, you're just going to do it anyways. Once you start choosing to study, you're just going to do it anyways. Like, it's not about, I genuinely don't think there's a huge difference between a person who's, you know who's been avoiding studying for a very long time and starts studying. He chose studying, and the person who's like getting all A's, and he just simply like easily chose studying, and they start studying for a couple of hours. I feel like they both got the similar amount of knowledge, in my opinion. I might be wrong. Maybe the guy, A guy, who has better grade GPA, might have learned more thing, it feels like. But like, I feel like the output isn't that much of difference. Like, it's all about choosing. And how to choose better is to change your environment, so that tomorrow's you, like you from tomorrow, can choose it a lot easier. So you reflect, you just simply introspect your day. Okay, so I felt like maybe, like, just like in my case, I couldn't really focus that easily, or like I felt like I needed some kind of like other noises instead of my like my laptop, my music, background music kind of thing. So, and it's gonna like help me a lot, if I go to the library. So something that I can choose to do. So I'll choose to go to the library instead of studying at home, like staying at home the whole day, so that I can choose to study easier. Like, just, it's all about choosing and changing adjusting your environment, your life, your whole life surround things that you want to choose. I think that really is about it. Yeah. And I'm not saying like choosing's easy. Obviously, you'll need a lot of time, but like, looking at yourself, yeah. Like, this one thing that I genuinely love about my life, and lately I like this one thing that that makes me want to see myself, like see myself from the like 5 years after today, like 5 years, 10 years, is that I'm in love with the idea of keep on improving, like looking myself every single day, stacking up, like improving in each how do I say, aspects of my lives. So like, my imagine myself like in the future, I lock in my Spanish, a trilingual, and I can start learning French, something that I'm very interested in, or it could be Chinese, we don't know. um and I get my diploma with like all A's. I could, I could be playing piano to the level of professional, if I actually log in and I'm keep on stacking every single day, like at least an hour. And like these things, like little things, gym as well, like these things that I'm genuinely interested in, and things that I'm um leveling up. I'm trying, like, things that I'm trying to level, like, get full mark of level up every single day. I want to see myself in the future. Like, I feel like I have so much potential and I can be so much better, like so much than who I am right now. And it's something that I'm so fascinated and just makes me like enjoy my life a lot. And yeah, that really is about it. It's kind of underwhelming. I mean, the ending is really underwhelming, but thank you for watching the video.